Have you ever realized the absolute importance of managing your emotions if you're on an eating transformation journey, or if you're even just trying to lose weight? If you have realized the utmost importance of exploring your emotions, managing your emotions, or as the common phrase goes, emotional intelligence as it regards to health, then stay here, especially if you're looking to explore emotions. This conversation got started because just yesterday I was talking to a wonderful woman, and we were talking about how to stop binge eating, how to stop emotional eating, and she was aware of the importance of eating, but she asked me a powerful question. She said, you know what? I'm not sure how to explore my emotions. I can kind of feel them, but it seems like you're talking about a deeper understanding of what emotional intelligence is. What do you mean explore emotions? And how does that relate to stopping binge eating, stopping emotional eating, and ultimately kind of returning to our natural body weight? So there's 3 steps that I gave her. These 3 steps, which we'll explore in this video today, are 1, feel the emotion in your body. 2, expect the fear to come up, but realize the fear does not mean something bad is going to happen. 3, you dialogue or imagine that someone else was feeling that way. Someone else feels the way you do. And what advice would you give this person, especially if you cared for them? This is a training exercise in compassion and reperceiving emotion. So these 3 steps are: feel, expect the fear to come up, but realize the fear is not a signal that anything is wrong. And then 3rd, try to dialogue or have a conversation with that pain or that emotional energy that you're feeling in your body. Let's go into these 3 steps in detail so that you can actually apply them. For starters, this conversation was motivated by a real conversation I just had with a wonderful woman, and she had gotten essentially really furious at a family member. Really pissed off, rage, like, why are you even a family member of mine, blah, blah, blah. And she had noticed a trend where in the moment she thought to herself, keyword thought, as in not feel. She thought to herself, I can't deal with this right now. Let me just push this anger aside. And so she did. And she, was a family member. So you don't want to start fights all the time. So she pushed the emotion down. But then she noticed a trend a few days later. She was out of control eating. And I want to ask you a question right now. Have you ever felt a strong emotion and you push it down, and then a few days later, you're out of control eating? Or maybe it's not even a few days later, it's like a few hours later, or just you're automatically eating to cope with the feeling. We need to learn how to cope with emotions, because emotional eating, mindless eating, and binge eating, there's only 2 things that are stopping people from returning to their natural body weight and really loving their bodies and feeling good. The first is nutrition, the second is emotions. We're not talking about nutrition today. I've done a lot of videos about that. I'll link to one down below. But the second obstacle that people have in making peace with food, just being normal with food, enjoying the way they feel in their body, is emotions. So we need emotional intelligence. We need to be able to explore emotions. We can't stuff them down. We can't get overwhelmed when an emotion comes up and eat. We need a different way. And that's where these 3 steps come in. So the first step is feeling the emotion in your body. And where do you feel it in your body? Because you're going to have a hard time identifying the emotion if you're not feeling it in your body. Like just the other day, I was feeling bad. This is actually last night. I was feeling bad, and I wasn't sure what was going on. But then I felt the specific areas of my body. I felt my hands. I felt I didn't really feel I wasn't touching my body. I was just using my mindfulness, my attention, my awareness, my body awareness to kind of scan my body. And I felt sadness in my eyes. It was like I wanted to cry. And I realized I was feeling a little bit of rejection. So once I could identify the emotion, I skipped step 2, but I want to cover step 2 because it's really important. The woman I was talking to, we kind of replayed the conversation with her family member in her head. And I asked, okay, so you're feeling really angry right now. Can you feel that in your body? And she said, yeah, I can feel my gut tightening up. And I said, okay, so how do you feel about your gut tightening up? What's that? What emotion are you feeling? She says, I'm feeling rage, but I'm also feeling really terrified right now. And this is a common reaction that we need to anticipate will come up. When you start to feel your emotions, they're intense. They're very intense. And your default conditioning, your default patterns, your body has been trained to think that these emotions, rage, incredible sadness, stress, that if you experience them, if you feel them, that something bad will happen. This is really important that we understand this. You start feeling rage, your body gets afraid of the intensity. Oh my God, it's overwhelming. Your body thinks wrongly, this is not the right thought, but this is what your body thinks. Your body thinks, oh my God, I'm getting overwhelmed. Something bad is going to happen. If I let myself feel and experience this rage, then something horrible is going to happen. Horrible. Unspeakable. So I better shut that rage down. I better eat. I better block it out. I better do something, anything but feel the rage. That fear signal is false, and you need to know and expect that fear signal is gonna come up for you. So you start feeling your emotions, and the fear is gonna come up. But we have to be smarter than the fear. The fear is our default programming. Our default program reads the fear as too much, shut down. We need to change that. We need to say, no, by letting myself feel the fear, feel the emotion, I'm much more likely to take the right course of action. I'm much more likely to take the safe course of action. I'm much less likely to blow up and to hurt someone else. I'm much less likely to binge eat. We need to feel the emotion, and that fear is going to come up. It's going to come up. So when that fear comes up, you push through it a little bit. You breathe, you feel it, you let it into your body. And this is a practice, right? You don't have to be perfect the first time. It's a pattern. It's gonna come up again. So the more you practice going into fear, the less fearful it will become. So that's the first 2 steps. The third step is then the heart of compassion. The heart of compassion is essentially caring for someone else's suffering. And there's a real simple exercise that it's the base, it's the heart of this. You just imagine someone you care about, and then imagine that they are feeling the same thing you're feeling. So you have just gotten in touch with your body, you're aware of all this rage, fear, stress, anxiety, whatever. And now you imagine your brother, your sister, your father. If you don't have good relationships with your family, a friend. It could even be a dog, a mentor, someone you care about. Imagine this person is suffering like you are. What do you say to that person? And this woman had a beautiful response. We walked through these 3 steps, and she said, it's okay to be upset right now. You should be upset. It's okay to be upset. Basically, she was able to see, she used her daughter. She imagined her daughter was feeling the same way she did, and her instinct was to say, it's okay to be pissed off. And so usually if we are able to do these 3 steps, we're able to come up with the solution for ourselves. It's okay to be pissed off. And then she was able to even go further and say, if someone treated you like that, you better let them know in a gentle but straightforward way. So she had the answer within ourselves, and we can discover the answer within ourselves, and through these 3 steps, really decrease the binge eating and emotional eating. All right, so how do you take care of your emotions? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. All right, peace.